Hello everyone, today I'm going to talk about my portfolio revisions. In this presentation, I will focus on the following. First, I will talk about my basic Ukrainian online course in Blackboard that I developed for my teaching and learning online course. And then I will talk about my summary writing instructional design project that I developed for my principles and instructional design course. And those were my projects that I developed for my earlier classes. I will also talk about my additional or new project, English Language Learning Strategies website. And this is, again, like I said, my new project that I developed as part of my portfolio, and I will talk about it last. Let's start with my project, Basic Ukrainian Course Online, that I developed for my teaching and learning online course. Some of the revisions that I focused on for this specific project were adding the getting started content item in Blackboard, and also I wanted to make sure that the section had two parts, computer requirements and access to multimedia content. And those are important revisions because they allow learners to test their technology before they get started, and also it allows them to know where they should start, where to go when they open the landing page of this course online. When I looked at my menu in this course in Blackboard, I decided to add the Get Started section right above the course syllabus, and it is also under the announcement sections. The students will always go to announcements and of course the home page, and once they're done with getting started page, they'll be able to continue with the rest of the course. And there are two parts in this section, get started. One is the computer requirements and another one is access to multimedia content. The computer requirements item basically tells the students what they need to do in order to test their computers before they can get started with a course, and it is very important to do because we have to make sure that our learners are ready in terms of their technology before they start taking the course. If they're not ready, at the beginning of the course, they should figure out and troubleshoot what needs to be done in order to fully engage in the course content. And in the section, as you can see, I added hardware and software downloads. If they need to access certain software, they're able to download it through the website. And there's also a link to Blackboard technical support. That way, if they have any problems, they know where to go to fix those problems, to try to solve those problems. There's also some instructional videos that Blackboard developed to help learners troubleshoot some problems, and videos are a good way to guide learners in terms of how to fix those problems. And another important part in this section is the connection speed. Learners need to make sure that their speed is, of course, fast enough for them to be able to fully engage in this course. It is also very important for learners to be able to access all multimedia content in the course. So in this section, what I'd like for learners to do is watch a video and test their sound and also how video works on their screen. If they're not able to view this YouTube video, then they wouldn't be able to watch and engage with other content. So this is also a very important part in the Getting Started section. I wanted to make sure that the video that viewers take a look at before they get started opens in a new window. That way they don't get lost once the video is over. They know that once the video is over, the new window can be closed and they can go back to viewing the content of the course. So those were all the revisions for my Blackboard course in Basic Ukrainian Online. And now I'm going to talk about my summary writing project that I developed for my Principles in Instructional Design course. There were quite a few revisions, of course, and I'm going to focus on the main ones here. I wanted to make sure that in this project, learners knew what analytical reading was, and so I added that definition in the course description, in the project description. And I also added the explanation of academic vocabulary, and those will be two important parts of this project and summary writing. On top of writing a summary, of course, students will also need to learn how to read analytically and how to study vocabulary that is important to them. And of course, this type of vocabulary is academic vocabulary, as they'll be using it a lot once they start their academic courses full time. I also added a couple of revisions in the summary writing diagnostic, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. And I revised anticipated constraints of the project, and finally, I'll talk about how I revised remedial activities. Analytical reading is very important in the summary writing project. Students first need to know how to read analytically. They need to be able to do it successfully in order to write an effective summary. And of course, this explanation or definition of analytical reading is very important in this instructional design project. It basically highlights the importance of analytical reading and helps international students benefit from being able to read analytically. And here is where this part was added in the instructional design project on summary writing for international students. I also made sure that I added an explanation of specifically what kind of vocabulary students will be focused on, and in this case it's academic vocabulary. They have to maximize their time and learn the kind of vocabulary that will be the most useful to them. In this case, it's academic vocabulary, of course, because they will use this vocabulary in their academic classes once they start full-time. And this specific section was added right here in identified need and benefit, right under the reading analytically definition. I also revised the diagnostic that will be used in the summary writing project. Basically, the time needed to be extended for students to be able to complete this diagnostic successfully. They need to have time to read the proposed text and also summarize the text as best they can and also write a response. So the time was, of course, extended. And I also noticed that the word archaeological is probably difficult for some students, so I added a definition of that word to help reduce that effective filter for some students who are struggling with vocabulary. And so here's where those revisions were made, the extended time, and also the definition of the word archaeological. I also revised the anticipated constraints in this project. The goal of this project was to present learners with adapted materials, adapted reading materials. However, the problem that may arise is that those adapted materials will not be enough for learners to learn exactly how to function in authentic environments once they start their classes full time. So a delicate balance has to be made in order for students to get the kind of authentic materials that they're able to access, but they can't be edited in such a way that they're not authentic. So that's what instructors will have to focus on in this summary writing project. And that specific part was added in anticipated constraints. And it is also important that instructors in this project adjust their teaching style once they complete the diagnostic and they're able to view the results. They need to be able to provide remedial activities for some students who do not meet or do not have certain entry skills for this course. So some adjustments will be made after this material is assessed and collected from students. And that is also something that needed to be addressed in this project as well. And this specific part was added right here. Instructors will need to reevaluate their plans and include remedial activities in instruction in order to help certain students be on the same level with the other students. And finally, in this presentation, I'm going to talk about my website that I developed for ESL students who would like to learn more about the strategies for learning English as a second language. This specific resource was developed using Wix.com as a website hosting platform. The project focuses on all 4 skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing, specifically the strategies needed for those skills to help students succeed. There's also a blog feature for the most up-to-date information about the strategies and the recent activities. The content in this resource is engaging as it has videos, blogs, posts, and how-tos to help learners get the most out of this resource. There's also a contact feature for feedback and to increase following, and this project is also mobile device compatible. This project is intended for international students, or really anyone who is eager to improve his or her English skills. And it is important to have such resources because a lot of international students need help with language learning. A lot of my students reported needing extra support outside of class to help them improve their skills, and they really need strategies to help them learn English fast. I'd like to talk about some of my project decisions. I selected Wix.com as my platform because it is an easy-to-use platform, and it is also well known, and so that was part of my decision. This specific platform allows for website developers to create an attractive landing page, and it's important because one needs to help raise motivation. The landing page is sort of a attention grabber, and so Wix.com has great landing pages. It allows for easy navigation and compatibility with various devices. Links open to new windows to avoid confusing users. That was also something that I made sure that I did in this project. And as part of this project, I decided to outsource to credible outside sources. As the project continues to develop, there will be more in-house material, but for now, credible outside sources were used in order to fill the content of this website. As I just mentioned, a landing page is a big deal in a website, and in this project I made sure that my layout was easy and yet attractive. The website name is at the top left corner. It is also motivational and inspirational. The background picture is meant to grab the learner's attention, and also the content information is available if learners would like to ask certain questions or would like to have more guidance. So all of that is laid out in a quite simple, attractive way on the landing page. It is very user-friendly and also attractive, like I said. The focus of this project was to have strategies for all skills, and they're structured similarly. All the sections of the website for all 4 skills, in order to help learners have the ease of navigation, and of course that contributes to user friendliness. The content will be updated regularly, but again the layout will remain the same. And one thing that is very important about this project is that this resource is not static but quite dynamic. So here's, for example, the listening strategies page. There's a video that shows learners certain tips, and there's other tips that are available also. And the listening strategies come down from a pop-up menu at the top of the page. Language learning strategies. So there's a listening strategies page, reading strategies, speaking strategies, and writing strategies. And they're all structured very similarly in this way. There's also a blogging feature. The blogging feature was added for students to learn the most current information about language learning. It also allows for interactivity. Students can like and share posts, and that also increases the following for me to be able to have a following of students. And I decided to choose attractive images again to grab readers' attention, and they were outsourced from Pixabay, a website that allows for everyone really to get images that are free and also can be used without attributing. There's the content information sheet, and students can fill it out. Of course, ideally, this website will become a hub for resources and help for international students who need extra help with learning English outside of class. The goal is to update the resources constantly and create more in-house material and add it regularly. And that is all for my presentation. The three projects that I focused on today were, again, the basic Ukrainian online course in Blackboard that I revised, and also the revisions that I created for my summary writing project, and the new project, the completely brand new project that I created using the Wix platform, which is English language learning strategies for international students. Thank you for your attention.